Well, g'day, it's Jono Brake here from the Forge Leader with another round of Monday Myth Check. And today we're talking about culture and this idea that culture is the definitions we put on the wall in our business. I walk into a lot of businesses, even some of the clients I work with, and they've got their cultural statements, their core values, their mission, their purpose, whatever, written down. They've got them up on the wall. They've got them on posters in everybody's office. They have them all over the place, written in their website and so forth. Now, if they're my client, they tend to be living out that culture. But I go into a lot of businesses where I see stuff written on the wall or I see things written down, and the people working there are not exemplifying that culture at all. So today's myth is that the culture, the things that we write on the wall are the things that we are. Like, we just need to put it up so everyone can see it. Let's just talk about that for a minute, okay? I want to just quote some stats here because I think this is really important. I love, Peter Drucker. He talks about this idea of culture eats strategy for breakfast. And he says that a Deloitte study found that 94% of executives and 88% of employees believe in distinct workplace culture is important to their business success, okay? Now we go, yeah, that kind of makes sense. But here's the interesting stat. Only 19% think that their company has the right culture, okay? So that means that a lot of people watching this today are either part of, leading, or own a culture that is not distinct, that is not something that they can own, that is just written on the wall and is not really in the hearts of the people who are in that company. And so this is where I want to really think about this idea of culture and it just being something that we write down. Now, should we have documented mission, vision, values? 100% we should. Should we have a purpose and have that written down, the why we exist? 100% we should. These are how we get clear expectations. Should we have our core values? Yes, we should. I'm a little bit shy of core values where they're just single word core values. They should be action statements. They should be things that we can hire and fire to. They should be things that, we would choose a client, that we'd choose a vendor on, all of these things, because they then continue to exemplify our culture. But if they're just written down, and often I come in and people can't even tell me their one word core values, let alone what they actually mean. And it's okay for there to be a little bit of interpretation in there, by the way. So this idea that it just gets written down, it can be a real problem. And so what you could be inadvertently creating by not focusing on your culture, by not taking it from what's on the wall to what's in people's hearts in your business, to how you're leading, how you're developing people and training people, the kind of clients you bring around you, the kind of vendors you work with. All of these things matter in terms of taking what's written on a piece of paper, on a wall, on a website, wherever, and bringing it into the day-to-day of that business. So it's massively important. You can't just put culture on the wall and say, there it is for everybody to see, and you should just do it. It should be something that's reminded every day. There should be some core brand messaging. Every single meeting you have, there should be some kind of discussion around core values, around purpose, around vision, the things that, the broader picture stuff, let alone just the day-to-day. Where are we going this week, this month, this year? Or over the next 2 or 3 years, and what are some of those vision statements? I'm talking about what is the vision for your business, this broader context that really is the reason why your company or why you do what you do, and doesn't really change, right? It might have some nuances, but it doesn't really change. So this needs to come off the walls, into the hearts of our people, into activity, and it needs to be a day-to-day kind of conversation that we're having. Even if it's a conversation with ourselves, if it's a family business with the family. But this doesn't just have to be a business thing, by the way. This could be just, you're leading a family, you're leading a community group, you're leading a rugby team, who knows what. But the idea is that the culture that you want, that you expect, that you lead, and that you want to be a part of is something that makes sense, that's in your heart, that's alive and well. And it's constantly being communicated and discussed and nuanced as well. So anyway, I just want you to have a think about an action today. I want you to go away and think about the people you have around you. If you have a defined culture, I want you to have a think about your team. I want you to think about the people or the processes or the systems that you have where that culture gets contradicted. And I want you to challenge that and hold that up and say, okay, we need to work on this because this is not how it is right now. Doesn't mean you're going to change it overnight, but if you're focused now and you just keep working at it, you will build the culture that you want to build, not the one that gets built by accident. So today's myth: culture is not just what you put on the wall. It is something that gets written into people's hearts. It's something that you choose people around, you choose clients, you choose vendors, you choose operations, all sorts of things. That's Monday Myth Check for this week. I'm Jono Brake. As always, enjoy the journey.